Hello, Sarah Loving here, and today I'm going to do my version of a red carpet look. I don't have any red carpet events to go to, so instead I would wear this to a wedding or for a nice evening out with the hubby when that ever happens. Rare at best. So I'm going to start off with my Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua, and my color is 20 beige. I'm going to use my Real Techniques buffing brush and start in the center of the face where I've got the most discoloration and just work it outwards. I'm going to use my MAC paint in Bare Canvas, and I'm just going to take that on one of my fingers and put it all over the lid. All the way up to the brow bone. Taking a tiny bit of it on the lower lash line. Not really focusing it there though. Now I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This is just a generic blending brush I got at the trade show. And MAC's Yogurt, which is this matte pink color. Really making sure to focus it on the lower, more mobile part of the lid, and then just kind of blending a little bit up over the brow bone as well. Next, I'm going to take a flatter and slightly stiffer brush. This one is the V's favorite brush. And Sweet Lust from MAC, which is again a pink, but it's got a lot of sort of glittery, frosty silver particles in it, which I don't normally like to use glitter type shadows, but I'm just taking a little bit of it in the center of the lid, just so I can get a little bit of like a pop when you blink. Nice little highlight there. And the last shadow I'm taking for this look is Haux by MAC, and it's H-A-U-X, not like H-O like pimps and hoes. It's Haux, like faux, I guess. I'm rambling. Anyways, it is a matte sort of purpley color. It goes a little bit brown on my skin, but it has just enough of a coolness to kind of work well with the eyeshadow choices and later the blush and lip choices I'll be making. So I'm taking that on a MAC 222 brush and just knocking off some of the excess. And then the contour I like to do for this look is actually a little bit different. It's kind of more of like a decade 40s sort of contour where it's kind of sloping the eye down a little bit and giving a really heavy brow bone. So instead of going like up and down in the little rainbow motion, I'm going to kind of sweep across my lid. Now I'm pressing hardest in the middle area here and then just kind of lifting my brush up at each end. And then I'm going to take a nice big fluffy brush and just kind of soften the edges on that. I'm also going to bring it a little bit down onto that outer corner. Not much, just enough to shape the eye a tiny bit. And then I'm just going to take my flat brush again into the Haux and just tap a little bit of that at the outside corner under the lash line. All right, now the fun part of the look, I'm going to do my liner. And for that, I'm going to use my Maybelline Eye Studio Black Gel Eyeliner and my Real Techniques fine liner brush. Scooping some of that onto my hand so that I don't have to re-dip into the pot, and that way the pot doesn't stay open for a long time and get dried out. So I'm going to use my lashes as like a little ledge to rest my brush on as I sweep across the eye. Just that ensures that you're getting it nice and close to the lashes and also helps getting a smooth shape. So I brought it all the way into that inside corner, and then I've kind of stopped at the outer lashes, and this is where I'm going to make my wing. I'm just going to look at where the last lashes are, lift my brush up a little bit, and then draw towards the center of my eye. And then fill in the gap. I usually then go in with a really, really fine liner brush. This one is a MAC 210, I believe. I don't even know, it's so worn off. It's just a really, really tiny one, just so I can finesse my shape a little bit better, get it exactly the way that I want. I'm going to try not to spend too much time obsessing about this side, because I always have to go back and readjust after I do the other side, because I can rarely get them exactly the same the first go. So I'm going to stop right there and move over to the other side. So I made a conscious effort to kind of bring this side up a little bit and round it through the center, and I'm just going to go and do the same to this eye now, just to give it a little bit more of like a decade feel and less of like a cat eye feel. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I could probably take like 20 minutes just on perfecting my eyeliner alone, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave the upper line, and I'm just going to take either of the fine liner brushes I was using and just go underneath on that upper waterline to make sure there's no little gaps in pinkness. I took my Shiseido corrector pencil in light number 1 and took that all the way across the lower waterline on both sides, obviously. I'll do it again. I always go back and reestablish my water lines like 2 or 3 times anyways. And then I put 1 coat of my Clinique High Impact Mascara on both lashes. So I took my spoolie and gave it a brush through, and then using my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil in brunette, I'm going for a very sort of like wholesome Elizabeth Taylor sort of brow, like very sharp, square, and pointed arch. So in order to get that square front, I'm just going to kind of make a dot and move backwards all the way down a line. And then draw through the top up to my arch, to a little point there, and then draw down from my point to the end of my brow. Take an angled brush. Here it is. I'm just using my MAC 263 brush and my brow palette, and I'm going to use Print and Espresso just to kind of set that pencil and add even more definition. And then to set my brows, I'm going to take a clean spoolie, mascara spoolie, and just some hairspray and brush through my brows with that. And I find that it just holds the hairs in place a little bit better. Also, it dries a little bit more matte, and sometimes I don't want my eyebrows to be glossy, shiny, picking up the light. I'm going to go ahead and conceal now. Clean up any fallout with my foundation brush, which there shouldn't be any because I used hardly any eyeshadow. And I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown Corrector in Bisque and my Real Techniques base shadow brush. Pick up some of that. And I'm going really nice and close to that inner corner. Don't want any darkness on this inside of my eye. I want it to be nice and bright. And then I'm going to take my Dream Lumi highlighting concealer from Maybelline and put that just in this area, a small triangle, not like all the way down to here and up. That doesn't really work out so well for me. And my damp beauty blender, and just press that in. Just to give a nice kind of lift and brightness under the eyes. I'll also take that anywhere else I have a little bit of darkness around my face, so around the nose, the frown lines, and also for a little bit of extra highlighting down the center of the nose. A little bit on the chin as well. Pretty much just that center of the face, right? I'm just going to kind of strengthen that highlighting on the upper cheek area with some Jemma Kid Dewy Glow All Over Radiance Cream in Iced Gold and my Real Techniques contour brush. So just picking some of that up and taking the excess off of my hand. And then I'm just going to work it into that upper cheekbone and above the brow bone here as well. Going to add some cream contour as well. I'm going to kind of layer the highlighting and contouring up on this look. And I'm going to use my Ben Nye Cream Contour in Neutral. This is just a Media Pro like palette. Right under that cheekbone, really sort of working it into the foundation that's there. A little bit into the temple and hairline, and then the jaw. I'm going to take my brush and kind of squeeze it and go just down the side of my nose a teeny tiny bit and underneath. And a little bit in the hollow of my chin. Now lastly, before I powder, I'm going to put my cream blush on. Well, actually it's a liquid blush. It's the Daniel Sandler Watercolor Blush in Cherub. And I am going to use the same contour brush again. So I'm just going to put a drop of that on my hand here. And just on the apple, and then swirl the product out. Now I'm going to powder, and I'm going to use my Laura Mercier Undercover Pot. There's a little loose powder at the bottom there, which is nice. And I'm going to use my Real Techniques setting brush. So I'm not going to put the powder everywhere on my face. I'm just going to put it where I don't want shine. So for me, that's through the center of my forehead. I don't like my nose to be especially shiny, or my upper lip. Nothing hotter than a sweaty upper lip. I'm also going to take a little bit on my chin. So my camera cut out when I started doing the lip, and what it was the Outlast lip stain in 425, which is one of these felt tip markers that smells really yummy of raspberry. And I've put that on first, and the reason why I like to do the lip stains first is because I think that they're most successful when they're the first thing to go on your skin, so that it really kind of sinks in. Whereas if you put your liner on first, or like a balm, I think that acts as a buffer and you don't get as much longevity out of it. So I'm going to go over it just like how I did, and we can pretend that it's not already there. I usually go over it twice anyways. So now that I've got that on, I'm going to take my Annabelle lip liner in fuchsia and just really finesse the shape, get it nice and sharp. I'm going to fill the whole lip in with that, right over top of my stain. And then I'm going to take some Jemma Kid gloss in Poser, which is this nice bright pink with kind of like a purpley fuchsia. Yeah, it's like a purple shimmer shot through, I guess. And I almost forgot, I'm going to take a little bit of my Laguna bronzer by NARS and take that everywhere I put that contouring earlier. So under the cheekbone to the hairline, and under the jaw. Okay, now moving on to lashes. And the lashes that I'm going to be using today are so cute. They're these little bullseye lashes. These ones are called Haley, and they come in this cute little package, and I don't know, I think that they're really precious looking. I ordered them online. I'm excited to try them out. So I'm using Duo Dark Tone Lash Glue, and I'm just going to pick a little bit of that up on the end of a brush and then run it along the vein of the lash. Get a mirror nice and low down so I can look down, and then pop that lash right on top of my natural one. I'm going to do the other one. Now that I've got those on, I'm just going to put an extra coat of mascara on my lower lashes, just so that, because these ones are so full, I want a little bit of balance. So using the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. And that's it. That's the finished look. Thanks for watching, and come back again for something new. Bye-bye.